Obamacare. Thanks for joining us here at Conservative Apologetics. Obamacare. Chuck Norris did an article in townhall.com in which he revealed one of the dirty little secrets of Obamacare. Now, before you dismiss Chuck Norris out of hand, he's got things quoted here. So, let's don't say, oh, he's an actor. What does he know? The left points to their, George Clooney's and Brad Pitt's all the time. So, anyway, what Chuck Norris says is he says, look, this is a dirty little secret buried deep within this 1,000-page document. He said, outlined in Section 440 and 1904 of the House Bill, page number 838, there is a heading that says Home Visitation Programs for Families with Young Children and Families Expecting Children. Now, the programs provided through the grant, through the states, would come into your homes, and they would be educate parents on child behavior and parenting skills. Now, what the bill basically says is it says, look, quote, well-trained and confident staff would, quote, provide parents with knowledge of age-appropriate child development in cognitive, language, social, emotional, and motor domains, modeling, consulting, and coaching on parenting practices and skills to interact with their children to enhance age-appropriate development. Now, let's think about that for a minute. If you're a parent who's going to have a child, this bill says that a government agent is going to come into your house and they're going to counsel you on how to raise your child. Cognitively, mentally, language, social. Now, what does that mean, social? Is there going to become a set of socially accepted moral norms or socially accepted norms that are going to be taught our children? Do we, through this bill, have to give up our right to raise our children in particular ways? For instance, if I don't think gay marriage is okay, which I don't, will I have to socially teach my child that gay marriage is okay, much like they have to out in schools in California? Now, y'all think this is a joke. Some of you liberals watching this are going, oh, you're a black helicopter kind of guy. No, you look out in California, parents don't even have the right to withhold their children out of classes that teach the acceptability of homosexuality. Now, that to me is disturbing. And I certainly don't want any government agent who's well-trained and competent, according to their standards, to come in and teach my child about social development and social mores, emotional issues. Now, what does that mean? Your father spanked you? Did that emotionally damage you? Emotionally that will damage you. Your father should never spank you. Your parents should never touch you. They should talk to you. Please, are they serious here? Do they think, America, you're so stupid you don't know how to raise your own children? Now, some people are going to go, you know what? Look at all the people out there who abuse their children. Look at all the people out there who neglect their children. You know what I would argue to that? That's what you get when you have a welfare state. And you enslave people to government money, government project homes, and you put them into a situation and keep them under the power of the federal government in a state of just barely getting by. When you give people something for nothing, their work ethic goes down, their desire to work goes down. When the government gets involved in your lives, you're going to do nothing but go downhill. We've thrown billions and billions and probably trillions of dollars at poverty since LBJ's Great Society. And guess what? We've got more poverty now than ever. Our out of wedlock birth rate has skyrocketed. Our divorce rate has skyrocketed. Poverty levels have skyrocketed. Throwing money and government programs and now government consultants, if this health care bill passes, at the problem doesn't help the problem. What helps the problem? Letting people know, you know what, you can have a better life. Getting the government out of the way as far as trying to keep you down, and letting the government do what they do best. Looking out for the national defense and creating an environment in which people can succeed. Not an environment in which people are kept down by an oppressive welfare system that once they get in, it's almost impossible to get out. You know, when we give people something for nothing, health care, housing, money to pay their bills, money to live on, it destroys the spirit. It destroys the entrepreneurial spirit in a person. And now they're going to come in and want to tell you how to parent? We'll let the government take over our parenting responsibilities. You know what? I don't want to have to be bothered to teach my children about emotional skills, about, social skills, motor understanding, cognitive understandings. I don't want to have to do that. I'd rather have the government indoctrinate them. I'd rather have the government educate them. I just don't believe that the government is equipped to educate our children in this way. The public school systems, for the most part, in your larger cities, where there's heavy welfare, lots of government involvement, they're failing. Medicare is broke. Medicaid is broke. Social Security is broke. Why, America, would we want to turn over 1/7 of our gross domestic product, the healthcare industry, to the government when they've bankrupted everything else? Why would we want to turn over the education of our children from a moral, ethical, societal standpoint to the government, when all they do is break down the psyche and the entrepreneurial spirit of individuals by their oppressive and degrading welfare system? America, it's time we stand up. Being a parent is sacrificing. It's sacrificing your own wants, desires, and self for the benefit of your child, to give your child a better life. Stop raising spoiled brats. Otherwise, the government's going to come in and force you to quit it. We've got to be willing to do for ourselves. We cannot turn over the last vestige of personal freedom, and that is turning over the education and welfare and growth of our children to the federal government. We cannot do that. We have to oppose this health care reform bill. It's getting way too far into our personal lives when they want to start educating our children in emotional, social, cognitive ways. In other words, we want to, brainwash your child according to the way we think they ought to be raised. Don't let the government do that. Don't let the government get that far into your life. Thanks for watching Conservative Apologetics.